Hi guys, welcome to 2023. Happy New Year to you. I want to give you the market update. I usually do two if you've not watched my updates, usually in the beginning of the year, and then about midway I'll do another one. I have a lot to talk about today, so I'm going to dive right in. Most of the information I'm going to provide to you comes from the top economic advisors in the real estate industry. I usually have about 3 of my go-to guys that I go to keep myself informed so that I can then, of course, keep you guys informed. Let's start talking about things. Let's dive right in. So I want to start with what happened in 2022, and then we can talk about what they're predicting for 2023. 2022, and I have a lot of notes, so pardon me if I'm looking back and forth. 2022 was a really complicated year, and it started early on. We had massive momentum. We had low interest rates, around 3%. We had high demand, and we still had low inventory. So our federal government had been ignoring inflation, and then they introduced quantitative easing to keep the rates low instead of letting them rise with inflation, which is typically what happens. Then we moved further into 2022, like May, June. Then the Fed started saying, okay, maybe we really do have a problem. They started raising the interest rates. I mean, just at an unprecedented speed. I mean, boom, boom, boom. Ended 2022 around 6.5% to 7%. What that did, though, with those interest rates is, I mean, we just saw things come to a screeching halt. Buyers backed out or they were forced out of the market. Sellers weren't willing to go on the market because they might have had a 2-3% interest rate. Maybe they refinanced and then they were going to move and go into a 6% interest rate. Then we had lack of buyers, lack of sellers. We had sellers being kind of forced into doing some price adjustments because of the lack of buyers that were out there. They were, the sellers were hoping to keep riding that wave. With those buyers backed out, that wave was not there anymore. So we saw some price adjustments, some houses sitting on the market a little bit longer. And that's kind of where we are right now. That was 2022. So what are they predicting for 2023? Interest rates, all signs are leading, are pointing in the direction that the rates have topped out. That's what all my guys are saying. Now, they're also predicting that middle of the year, towards the end of 2023, is where they'll see rates more stable, ending somewhere between 5.5%, 6%. That's pretty much what they're saying. That depends on the inflation numbers, though, and the CPI numbers. As they come down, the rates typically will follow them. And we've seen those numbers coming down and coming in lower than what the Feds were expecting. So maybe we'll get some lower rates earlier than what we're expecting. Housing prices. Most of the data that I'm seeing indicates that 2023 will be more of a transitory year, just like last year. And then we will also see more stability in 2024. Meaning, when you think about it, 2021, we had a 9% interest or a 9% rise in home values. 2022 was another 10% on top of that. So in 2023, they're saying, yep, hold on, we're going to see maybe a 1% increase. Some areas of the country, and that's nationwide, some areas of the country, though, could see some slight declines. Others could see the numbers go up slightly, but not a whole lot. And then back to maybe a 4 to 5% increase in 2024. Now, that's out of ways, but that's what they're saying now. The number of housing units to be sold, last year we had 6.8 million. 2023, they're saying maybe 4.8 million. Now, my personal predictions, my personal gut feeling, and I know last year, at the beginning of the year, I'd have to look at my last video, but my gut feeling on the interest rates were they were not going to be at 5.5% by the end of the year, which is what some guys were saying. So that happened so quickly. And so my gut feeling, and I like to just throw this out there, is that the lack of available housing and the underbuilding gap that the country is in right now, I think is going to keep our markets tight. I just can't see those inventory levels correcting anytime in the near future. I think it's going to be several years, maybe longer, before that gets corrected. The 5.5 to 6.8 million housing units short in the country. I mean, that's huge. In Frederick County right now, we have under 200 homes that are resale homes. That doesn't include new construction. Under 200. I mean, that's crazy. That's less than a month's supply, far less than just a month's supply of inventory. Now, with that being said, we are still seeing sellers maybe adjust their pricing a little bit if they need to sell and they've been on the market for 2-3 weeks. We're seeing some houses sit on the market for a little bit longer, a few weeks, depending on the situation. So there are some opportunities out there for buyers that will still play in the market, that have opened their minds up to what the situation is. We can get the house now, we can get the interest rate later, and refinance. We've got some lenders that are paying for refinancing, some buy down opportunities with lending. So there's some creative lending out there that can help you get into that house safely. All right, they're not predatory lending type practices, but there's some good practices out there right now that can help you. So to close, real estate is cyclical. It always has been. It always will be. Timing the market to make a purchase or sell is always difficult. What I will say is that if you know somebody that wants to buy or sell, please get in touch and let's talk about it, or pass my information along. So I hope you find this information valuable and relevant. And if you ever have any questions, just reach out. I'd love to talk to you. See you next time. Bye.